Balaji because the last 30 years I've been mentoring entrepreneurs. That's a job I do. That's a job I started doing very early in my career. My brother and I started this consulting company with the objective that we follow the true traditional Gurukul system of imparting knowledge to people. And Mr. Jayveer was speaking about TDICI. I must tell you, sir, the first proposal for TDICI was sponsored by us and it's a company from Hyderabad.
Okay.
Way back when we started, Mr. Ramesh may be knowing about our background. We do a lot of work with the venture industry. The two principles we set ourselves was, as he said, is being unethical, and second one was working with entrepreneurs irrespective of whether in the position of success or distress. We had probably done about over 350 projects in terms of helping entrepreneurs incubate projects. We are in the full value chain of helping entrepreneurs incubate their ideas. We have taken about 50 companies public in India, about 10 companies public abroad. All of them were very small entrepreneurs when they came to us. They probably started with a capital of 5 lakhs or 2 lakhs or 3 lakhs and grown to this great size. The first company which TDICI funded was a company incorporated in Hyderabad with 25 lakhs capital. Today, it's a company which is quoting in BSE at a share of 500 rupees per share. So that's a level of growth. So I'm saying entrepreneurship is a process where one gains knowledge and confidence and ability to take risk more and more as he encounters more and more and experiences more and more. Several people, they help them out in the journey. You speak of experiences of having seen many entrepreneurs succeed. When we work with entrepreneurs, we gain knowledge of seeing their success. And what we do is, we impart that knowledge to others. So it's a question of learning day by day by working with entrepreneurs. It's a question of telling them what is this ahead for them. Be a guide to their whole journey of growth. And sometimes handhold them when they need that support, sometimes they are distressed, sometimes they are flourishing. The one principle which I probably feel which has helped us is that this concept of working with them even when they are in distress. We started consulting right out of college, my brother and I. And we never thought that we have to make money. We said that we'll only help people. And then we just did our best and God took care of the rest. That's the only statement I will make. Today, we are in such a shape, we have such a pedigree of clients. I have over 350 clients or 380 clients. And I never bothered for making people pay us, but when people made money, they were privileged to pay us. That's what I would say. So the question is, when we create a culture of entrepreneurship, if you learn something, be very, very generous to tell to others what you have learned. That really helps to put the whole growth momentum into picture. We talked about incubation centers. We have created 7 incubation centers in India where employees and students get incubated in terms of entrepreneurship talent. In fact, my brother was so passionate, he made his younger daughter specialized only in entrepreneurship. That's a specialist course she is going through. She's not going through any other course, she's just gone through entrepreneurship as a major. Such is the level of, I would say, economic development you can make through this process. So be a mentor. You talked about how you could went abroad and then you would have a lot of experiences. Feel free to share. Be a mentor to people. Don't expect anything in return. God will give you everything in return. That's the only statement I want to make. I never expected anything in return, but I probably got more than what I needed in return. I never expected. And when God gave me, I'm saying, why are you giving me so much? That's the way it is. So I'm saying, in the World Economic Forum, it's a great concept that we are trying to now thrive and promote entrepreneurship, which is probably a circle around all-round development. You develop employment, you develop capital formation, you develop GDP, you develop export, so many things, It's one single point which goes into all-round growth in terms of economic development. So it's one kingpin, and if you're able to put that seed very well, and we're able to collaborate and bring out the best in all of us, I think we have a great future in terms of enhancing the whole entrepreneur ecosystem also. Maybe I'm sure Samuji will have several thoughts. Would have listened to several experts. A good forum is where we have a kind of a online forum where we're freely able to mentor people. People put their needs and someone is able to address those needs. Something could help where people feel, oh, there is a forum where I can go and ask these questions. Be it something very simple, be it something very complex, be it something in terms of conceiving an idea. Mr. Ramesh would know how much of new complex life science, they've done a lot of life science companies. The kind of new complex life science initiatives are being taken up. Even those scientists, we largely do work on the scientific area. If I had to put one sentence, the work we do, we connect science to commerce. That's what we do mostly. Because we find a lot of scientists, they're very good at their science, but they lack the commerce. They lack the trade, they lack the ability to commercialize their scientific talents. So that's what we do. We largely work on technology-based projects. So I'm saying a lot of young scientists, they have bright ideas, but they lack the entrepreneurship, they lack the avenues to go into an entrepreneurship ecosystem. So it's a very great idea. It's an excellent. I would say it's like probably the hitting the nail in such a way that the whole development, all-round development happens through this. So I really wish that this flourishes to a great extent, and there are many more volunteers who contribute to this cause, and then there are many more beneficiaries who benefit out of this cause. That's I think I don't want to take much more time as it's getting late. I think I am a volunteer to this. You call me at 12 in the midnight, I'm a volunteer to this. So I think I would expect a lot of experienced people here, a lot of intellectual wealth, a lot of knowledge. Let's share it to the benefit of the whole society. Let's share it to the benefit of creating entrepreneurs with great success who can pull through all-round development with the social cause. Thank you. Thank you all.
Thank you, Mr. Raghunath, being the latest guest. He delivered the greatest speech here. Well, let's thank you once again. Thank you, sir. Now, in fact, we are going to have the most important unit, that is the driving, guiding, and leading force of all Hindu forum. Swami Vijnananda, he will address us now. I request Swami Vijnananda.
Namaste, respected mother, sister and brothers. Panelists discuss few things, and some of the thing has come out, I will just narrate. First, Arvind Rao presented threat challenge. How we are going to meet the challenge? We all know the problem, we have to find the solutions. 20 years ago, China was not threatening us, now is threatening us because they have economic strength. 30 years ago, no, before 1975, oil producing companies were not that powerful, But now, after the formation of OPEC, they have become powerful, they are threatening us. As historically mentioned, we were 35% of world GDP, we are no more now. So if we really want to become stronger, if we really want to protect our society, we have to become economically stronger. The World Hindu Economic Forum is that initiative to make our society stronger. And to provide solution to the challenge. Otherwise we can go on talking problem. We all know problem. I throughout the world I travel, everyone will talk about the problem. But I always ask them, give me the solution. So World Hindu Economic Forum is an initiative to meet the challenge, to find the solutions. Coming to the one person mentioned, Professor Janaiya mentioned about this threat from the agriculture side and Western threat. I was very young engineer when I passed out in the 85. And you know that I am very much away from that day. When 1986, Arthur Dunkel presented Dunkel draft in the Punta del Este, 8th round, that was 8th round at Punta del Este. That was a negotiation on the General Entertainment Trade. And you know that he presented the idea of trade related intellectual property rights, trade related measure services, and then that draft was not accepted in the GATT. And finally, it was accepted, become part of discussion, then it become final text. You know that WTO came. This is how it happened. This is a big threat. But how we are going to meet the challenge? Again, I will tell you. I always tell our people. You have no right to criticize your enemy. You have no right to criticize your enemy. They are your enemy. They have all right to destroy us because they are our enemy. How we are going to beat them in their game plan, that is in our hand. So that we have to plan. So coming to the Agri Forum, we are fully aware of this, and there is no need to create another forum. Economy world is very much proper. In this economy, we will create agriculture forum, Agri Forum, and we have a process in that. We have really starting on the forum of this, Ayurveda. So we will include the agriculture forum. And there we will need all your scientist support. How to again build our extent and challenge the challenges. Coming to the incubation center, this is very much part of this. World Hindu Economic Forum, one of the main ideas is to promote enterprise entrepreneurship, and this will not happen without incubation. So I am working with the second our forum is Hindu Education Board. I am working with all the private universities, not with the government university, because government university need a lot of bureaucracy. So now what is happening in the Bharat is 85% universities are private. And I always tell our people in America, out of the top 10 university, only one is government, all are private. So how to make our private university world class? So I am working with them through World Hindu Education Board. You'll be surprised during the World Hindu Congress. All the top university came, from the south you have VIT Vellore, from the Symbiosis, MIT, Sarda, and all the universities. So I am working with them. So how to inculcate the entrepreneurship among the youth, the students. Otherwise, again, we are going to be failing society. We are creating a unproductive, talent. So how to make our talent productive? So already we are working. So first is the economy, and then we are working on education. Because if we ignore education, then we are nowhere. Because they are by nature, by virtue of their age, they are going to be the future. So we have to save the future. Third, we are working with the women. They are the 50% of our society. If we constructively engage them, they will be very, very productive, not to protect our economy, education, to protect the whole civilization. Full civilization. So that is the third initiative we are working. Fourth is a media. Because media is very powerful tools in the world. I always tell one who control the communication, control the mind of the people. But we Hindus have ignored this instrument, but now we have to be master of this instrument in the 21st century. So we are working on this area. And fifth is we have economy, education, women, youth. Already we are working with it. We have a Hindu students youth network throughout the world. Throughout the world, we have a Hindu student youth network across from America to Fiji. And we are developing 21st century leadership. Sometimes you will meet them, interact with them. They are sometimes better than our students here in Bharat. I have trained them in such a way. Because why I am telling you, I was in the Millennium Summit, I was discussing during the break time. I was in the Millennium Summit in 2000. I was the youngest delegate. And the presentation in the World Forum was from the Jews were very smart, Christians were also smart, Muslims were a little smart but not that smart, and we were very, very poor. We Hindu and Buddhists were very, very poor. So I was very angry. I went to the Swami Dayananda Saraswati, who was leader of that our delegation. I told, look, Swami, what is happening in this World Forum? How the Jews, Christians are presenting themselves, and we are doing katha. Do you know the katha? So Swamiji was very honest. He told me, look, they are used to what to talk, what not to talk, and they are used to where to present and how to present. So they are smart, they are doing this, and we are used to do katha, therefore we are doing katha. So from that on, I thought, let's train the youth. So we are working with the youth. And sixth forum we are working to again is a Hindu organization. Many across the country, throughout the world, Hindu organization different from either your temple, either your society, your trust, community organization. They are doing wonderful work. You see, I went to one Sri Sailam. You see how many dharmshala and charity institution is built by the community. So these are the traditional strength in Hindu society. And my idea is without diluting their strength, bring them to a common platform and recognize their strength. And if we can do that here in Bharat, we will be, at a great level we can unite the society. And we have done outside Bharat. We have started working in Bharat. And seventh is the politics, you know. Arvind Rao mentioned without politics nothing happens. Politics is very, very important thing, you know. There is saying in the Mahabharata, Sarve Vidya Aradharme Shukta, Sarve Loka Aradharme Spurishta, Sarve Dharma Aradharme Pradhanayata, Sarve Pada Hasti Padeni Magna. This is the word not of me. This is from the Bhishma Pitama to the Yudhishthira. Politics is intertwined with all the knowledge of the world. Without the knowledge of politics, all the knowledge are incomplete. Politics has entered in all the loka, Swarga Loka, Bhuloka and Patal Loka. No place is without the politics. So politics dominate everything. So we have to become master of the politics. So not to do all the dirty politics, the corruption, all the things. That I am not talking about. You know, real that is known as a politics, understanding of the politics. You know, how you lead the society, how you serve the society, and protect the interest of the society. So the whole process of the World Hindu Congress is that to work on the strategic area of the Hindu society and build and develop, organize an infrastructure in a strategic area to take the community forward in the 21st century. Namaste.
Swamiji, in fact, I am also very thankful to you personally because I am a media man. For years when I was reporting, I worked at various places including Delhi, and 26 years I served in our group. And now, of course, I still have worked for the government media. Thank you very much. You have mentioned about the professional media. But media is an excellent weapon, provided you know how to nurture it, how to handle it. So most of the people, they fail to understand and handle carefully. Thank you very much for mentioning about the media, sir. Now Mr. Srinivas Saraju of Mantra College, Mantra Group of College, he will thank all of us. We know who is going to thank, how he is going to take lessons to you.
Wow. So much of energy, empowerment. Yes, literally everyone present here feels personally empowered with Pujya Swamiji's insight and the dignitaries on the dais and off the dais. Yes, we are all blessed being Hindu and being part of this August Forum. I think there is a definite need for standing applause for taking great initiative by Madam Shashi, who took initiative and they forced everyone to work and commenced the women forum of our Hindu wing. So I think I request everyone present here to give a standing applause for the women forum being commenced today. And under the able guidance of Pujya Swami Vijnanand Ji and the able guidance of our regional forum coordinator, Mr. V.S.N. Kumar. Yes, we are all here and blessed with so much of insights. We thank each and everyone present here and who could not, they wanted to come and their time doesn't permit, to be with us. And we thank each and everyone. And I think this is high time for us to shut our curtains for temporarily, and we need to keep meeting each other and share so many things and help each other. Thank you one and all. Thank you. Thank you very much.
People here, a lot of intellectual wealth, a lot of knowledge. Let's share it to the benefit of the whole society. Let's share it to the benefit of creating entrepreneurs with great success who can pull through all-round development with the social cause. Thank you. Thank you all.
Thank you, Mr. Raghunath. Being the latest guest, he delivered the greatest speech here. Well, let's thank him once again. Thank you, sir. Now, in fact, we are going to have the most important in it, that is the driving, guiding and leading force of all Hindu forum, Swami Vijnananda. He will address us now. I request Swami Vijnananda.
Namaste, respected mother, sister and brothers. Panelists discuss few things and some of the thing has come out, I will just narrate. First, Arvind Rao presented threat challenge. How we are going to meet the challenge? We all know the problem, we have to find the solutions. 20 years ago, China was not threatening us, now is threatening us because they have economic strength. 30 years ago, no, before 1975, oil producing companies were not that powerful, But now, after the formation of OPEC, they become powerful and they are threatening us. As historically mentioned, we were 35% world GDP, we are no more now. So if we really want to become stronger, if we really want to protect our society, we have to become economically stronger. The World Hindu Economic Forum is that initiative to make our society stronger and to provide solution to the challenge. Otherwise, we can go on